Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847, in a small town called Milan, Ohio. He grew up in a busy family. His father, Samuel, and his mother, Nancy, wanted their children to learn and do well. Thomas was the youngest of 7 siblings. He was curious from a very early age. As a child, Thomas did not like school very much. His teacher thought he was slow and not easy to teach. His mother believed in him. She started to teach him at home. She gave him books and helped him read. Thomas loved reading stories about science and nature. He also read newspapers and old magazines. He liked to learn how things worked. When Thomas was 7, his family moved to Port Huron, Michigan. There, he had many small jobs as a boy. He sold newspapers on trains and worked as a switchman for the railway. While he worked on the trains, Thomas watched machines and engines closely. He learned about timing, wheels, and how small parts moved together. Thomas's first big accident happened when he was a young boy. He became very sick with scarlet fever. The illness made him tired, and it changed his hearing. He lost much of his hearing after the fever. This loss made him quiet and focused. He said later that the quiet helped him think and invent. Thomas loved to do experiments at home. He used a small lab in his family's house. He mixed chemicals and tried small electric projects. One day, when he was about 9, he sold candy and newspapers to earn money. He used the money to buy a chemistry set. He kept that kit under the stairs and spent many hours testing things. When Thomas was 12, he took a job on the Grand Trunk Railway. He worked as a telegraph operator. Telegraphs were early tools for sending messages by wire. He learned Morse code and how to fix telegraph machines. The telegraph work taught him how to work with electrical signals and tiny parts. He read many technical books at the telegraph station. He liked building new tools that made the work faster. Thomas also started to read books about electricity and science. He read every book he could find, wrote notes, and tried to copy drawings. He taught himself how to make small engines and batteries. He built a small machine called a stock ticker to read stock prices. He sold this first invention to a newspaper company and used the money to pay for more experiments. At home, Thomas had many curious friends and helpers. He met men who sold chemicals and wires and parts. They brought him new things to try. He also met older inventors and workers who showed him how to use machines. Thomas liked asking many questions. He often asked why and how until he understood. Thomas married his first wife, Mary Stilwell, when he was 22. They had children and a family life while he worked. He kept doing experiments in a small workshop he built behind the house. He worked long days and many nights, always testing new ideas. In these early years, Thomas built a habit that would follow him for the rest of his life. He tried, failed, and tried again. He learned from each failure. He kept notes, drawings, and simple lists of ideas. He said later that genius was mostly hard work and long practice. His childhood showed the start of that habit: curiosity, hands-on work, and a steady focus on solving small problems. In the 1870s, Thomas moved to the city of Boston and then to New York. He worked as a telegraph repairman and continued to work on inventions between jobs. He wanted to make life easier and faster with new machines. One of his first big inventions was the phonograph. A phonograph is a machine that records sound and plays it back. The idea came to Thomas when he was trying to improve the telegraph and telephone. In 1877, he made a simple machine with a needle and a cylinder wrapped in tinfoil. When someone spoke into the machine, the needle moved and left tiny marks on the foil. Later, the needle could move again and make the sound come back. At first, people were surprised. They had never heard a machine that could record a voice. Thomas demonstrated the phonograph to a group of people. They listened to recorded songs and short messages. The reaction was full of wonder. The phonograph made Thomas famous quickly. The phonograph was more than a show. It opened a new world of technology and business. Schools, music companies, and doctors could use sound recordings in many ways. Thomas worked to make the phonograph better and moved from foil cylinders to wax cylinders that lasted longer. Thomas also started to think about working full-time on inventing. He set up a small shop in Menlo Park, New Jersey. Menlo Park would become a famous place. Here, Thomas and a group of assistants could build machines, test ideas, and make models. Menlo Park became known as the first industrial research lab. It was a place where inventors worked together in an organized way. In Menlo Park, Thomas did not stop at the phonograph. He worked on many projects at once. He worked on electric lights, batteries, telegraph systems, and ways to record sound better. He hired a team of people who could build parts and test ideas. He paid his team to work hard and find solutions quickly. Thomas's way of working changed how people thought about invention. Before, many inventors worked alone. At Menlo Park, Thomas used a team, a plan, and steady funds. He called this method his workshop model. It meant that a good idea could become a real product and then a business. During this time, Thomas also met investors who gave money to build bigger projects. He started companies to make and sell inventions. Money allowed him to buy better materials and hire more skilled workers. Still, many projects did not work at first. He spent long nights trying to find the right material or the correct shape for a part. The phonograph remained one of his favorite successes. It showed how an idea from hard work could change the world. Musicians, speakers, and ordinary people could save and hear sound. Thomas often tested the phonograph himself, listening to his children's voices or to short songs he liked. The machine felt like a small miracle to many. One of Thomas Edison's most famous stories is about the electric light bulb. People often think he invented the light bulb by itself. The real story is a bit more complex. Many inventors had worked on light bulbs before Edison, but Edison found a way to make electric light practical for homes and cities. Edison's idea was not only the bulb. He focused on a complete system. He wanted a bulb that could burn for many hours without breaking, a safe electric wire system, and a way to make electricity on a large scale. He worked on all these parts at Menlo Park. Edison and his team tested thousands of different materials for the filament, the tiny wire inside a bulb that glows when hot. They tried different metals and plant fibers. Finally, they found that a carbonized bamboo filament could burn for many hours. This discovery helped make bulbs that were useful and lasted long enough for people to use them in daily life.
But a bulb needs power. Edison built the first commercial power station in New York in 1882. He called it the Pearl Street Station. The station produced direct current, or DC electricity, and sent power to homes and businesses nearby. Edison's system showed that electric light could replace gaslight and oil lamps. Streets and buildings became brighter, cleaner, and safer at night. Edison also had many business ideas. He started companies to manufacture bulbs, wires, meters, and generators. He saw that making a product was not enough. People needed the whole service. For example, Customers needed bulbs, but they also needed someone to build wires and send electricity. Of course, not everything was simple. Edison had competitors who supported a different kind of power, alternating current, or AC. AC could send electricity farther using fewer wires. This difference started a big business fight known as the War of Currents. Edison argued that his system was safe and better for cities. The War of Currents involved engineers, newspapers, and many meetings. In time, both DC and AC had roles in the growing electric world. Yet Edison's early work made the idea of electric light and power normal in many places. Edison's electric system changed people's habits. Factories could work later at night, offices could be bright, and homes had new ways to cook and read. Edison's work helped start a new age where electricity made daily life easier and helped industries grow.
Thomas Edison also worked on motion pictures. He wanted to record movement like he had recorded sound. His team developed machines that could take many pictures quickly and show them in order to create the illusion of movement. One of his early devices was the kinetoscope, a machine people could look into to see a short film. Movies were small and short at first, often only a few seconds long. People watched short scenes of daily life, simple acts, or small stories. Edison and his lab helped push the technology forward. Cameras and projectors improved, making longer and better films possible. Edison did not stop at movies. He worked on hundreds of ideas in different fields. He worked on telephones, batteries, mining machines, and chemical processes. He always looked for ways to make machines useful to many people. He liked to create tools that real businesses could use.
Even as he grew older, he kept a busy schedule. He wrote notes and plans every day. He tested new chemicals and materials. He cared about detail. He loved making models and watching small experiments work. For him, an invention was not only a single idea, but a chain of small improvements. Edison set up a large laboratory at West Orange, New Jersey, later in his life. The West Orange lab had better equipment and more space than Menlo Park. Many projects ran at once. Inventors and workers stayed in the lab, lived nearby, and pushed ideas forward. The lab became a model for later research centers around the world. People sometimes forget that Edison had many failed projects. Not every idea worked. He tried hard on projects that did not succeed. He used failures to learn. He kept notebooks filled with drawings and tests. These notebooks showed how methodical his work was. Try, record, change, and try again.
Thomas Edison was known for his strong work habits. He often kept strange hours. He liked to work late at night and sleep a little during the day. He kept many small tasks and wrote short notes to remember things. He said that success came from hard work and persistence. His family life changed over time. He married Mary Stilwell, and they had children. Mary died young, and later he married Mina Miller. Mina helped him manage his home and social life. He cared for his family, but often let his work take the main place in his life. Edison used a hands-on approach with his team. He liked to watch experiments and to try small pieces himself. He valued careful record-keeping. He paid attention to small details that others might miss. He respected workers who could build things with their hands, as well as think in new ways. Edison also knew how to sell ideas. He talked to investors and customers and wrote letters to newspapers. He used stories and demonstrations to show the value of his inventions. He believed that business and invention needed to work together. He started companies to make and sell his products, and often worked with skilled businessmen to manage the companies. At the same time, Edison could be stubborn. He held firm opinions, and he sometimes fought with other inventors or engineers. He argued for his ideas in the press and in business meetings.
Yet his stubbornness also helped him push ideas forward when others gave up. Many people admired Edison, and many criticized him. He had strong supporters who said he changed the world. Others said he took credit for ideas that others helped create. The truth is often mixed. Edison was a powerful force in invention, but he also worked in a world where many people and teams contributed to new technologies.
Thomas Edison died on October 18, 1931, at the age of 84. When he died, the world remembered him for many things: the phonograph, the light bulb system, motion picture work, and a way of organizing invention. His name became nearly a symbol for invention. Edison's work changed everyday life. Electric lights, recorded sound, and moving pictures became parts of daily life in homes and cities around the world. Factories used electric power. Musicians and artists used recording equipment. Filmmakers told longer stories. These changes grew from many small steps Edison and his teams took over many years. There are clear lessons in his life for anyone who wants to create or learn. First, persistence matters. Edison tried many experiments that failed before he found the right answer. He kept careful records and learned from mistakes. Second, teamwork matters. Edison built groups of skilled people who could build ideas quickly. Third, think about the whole system. Edison focused not only on one device, but on how it would be used by people and sold in the market.
Edison's reputation today is mixed, but meaningful. He was not the only inventor of his time, but he was one of the most visible. He helped lead a new age of industry, where organized research and business plans turned ideas into useful products. His laboratories became models for future research centers. If you listen to the story of Thomas Edison, you can see a simple pattern: a curious child, a hands-on learner, a man who loved to test and record, and a person who built teams and systems. His life shows how steady work, attention to detail, and a belief in practical results can build many changes that affect millions of people. For a final note, think of a small tool you use every day. Many parts of that tool may have roots in Edison's work. The light that helps you read, the sound device that plays music, or the idea of testing and improving designs until they work well. Thomas Edison's legend is not only about one great moment of genius, it is about long effort, small steps, and a life spent inventing better ways to live.